welcome to TinVenture. Today we're going to show you how to disconnect the trailer and make sure everything's in place so you don't have any rollaway issues. The first thing you want to do is make sure the chocks are installed. Okay, to uninstall the hitch, we're basically going to do everything in reverse that we did for hooking up the trailer. All right, to disconnect the trailer, first thing we're going to do is remove this cable. And then you're going to want to disconnect the chains and that breakaway cable. When you bring it down, make sure it is not underneath and you didn't accidentally wrap the cable around this way. You want to make sure it's underneath. All right, now that's all disconnected, we're going to lower the foot back down and start raising the hitch back up. We use that extend button. Okay, with our jack, since we have the flip away jack, I always like to apply a little pressure right behind to make sure it gets lined up and the foot is seated properly. Just one more quick note, once you start raising it, it will slip into place, so don't get alarmed if you see that. Okay, so we're gonna raise this a little higher because as when we were installing the anti-sway bars, it makes it easier to remove them as well when you have all the tension off. Otherwise, it gets really difficult and those chains can whip at you. So I'm gonna keep on raising this up till I kind of see that there's no longer a curve in the sway bar. All right, that looks about good. If you notice near the end, the sound slightly changed in the jack. That's just letting you know that you're near end of extension. One thing you'll also notice is that there's a slightly less curve in the sway bar, and this is gonna make it much easier to remove. In order to move the sway bar, there's a few steps you're gonna have to do. You're gonna take your tool. You're gonna pull out this pin. Now, when you're lowering this down, you can push down, but you also want to keep a little bit of tension opposite direction because you see right there, it wants to shoot back because of all that tension on there. And if you let it, this chain is going to come hit the propane tanks and it's probably going to snap back on you. So you want to have that tension on there so it doesn't snap at you. And you're sure you're going to help guide it down so it doesn't snap on you. I like to snap that back in place. So now the chain's released, you're going to come over here and you're gonna lift up the pin right here and pull that sway bar out. Now this one's released and you're gonna repeat it on the other side. Okay, now we're back on the passenger side and we're gonna remove the sway bar from here. The hookup video, you realize the chains go opposite. So this one, you're gonna apply the pressure over here, pull this pin, do it gently, keep that tension on there so it doesn't come snapping forward, and take out the propane tanks. So guide that down. Chain drop out, lock that back in place. Back over here, and we'll take the pin out, lift that up, and pull out that sway bar. Now both sway bars are removed. The chain came out incredibly easy for me today, probably because I had it jacked so high. But if it ever gets a little stuck, it's okay to muscle it out a little bit. Sometimes you just gotta apply a little extra force and the chain will pop out. All right, so the next step, now that the sway bars are removed, we need to lower the tongue back down. What we want to do is lower that back down so the pressure is on the truck so we can release that ball. So I'll go through that with you in just a moment. So right about here, you'll start seeing the pressure being put down on the hitch. Okay, now that you see the back of your truck going down slightly, that means all the weight is now on the truck and you can release this ball. If you do that earlier, what's gonna happen when the truck is raised up, the ball's gonna drop out and that can cause damage to the trailer and to your truck. So that's why I always wait to remove this lock until it's in the down position so I do not accidentally remove it earlier. Now to release the ball, you're gonna push this forward and lift up. Okay, now the ball is released. We're gonna raise that tongue back up so you can pull the car away and disconnect it. What you're looking for here is just making sure that the ball is cleared from this little coupler right here so you can pull out without accidentally taking the trailer with you. Okay, now the next step is to pull the truck away, and we'll show you how to secure up the trailer once it's disconnected with all the locks. Now we have the hitch removed from the trailer. We have this ball cover. The reason you want to always put this back on is it protects you and the ball. One, there's a lot of grease on here. You don't want to get that on you. It takes forever to get off. And two, you don't want to get sand all over this ball or any other things from nature, because that'll rub inside the coupler and damage both the ball and your coupler. Like that. Okay, now that the trailer is disconnected from your rig, you always want to make sure you have locks. Otherwise, your trailer is going to be an easy target to be stolen. So the one we went with is this Mega Hitch lock. It's a coupler vault lock. That's how this works. So you're going to take the top off right here, and you'll see inside there's a ball just similar to the one that was attached to the hitch on the truck. So you're going to put this underneath here, make sure it's all the way up, hit this back, and now you'll see the ball is locked in place. You'll take the front here, slide this back in, and then with the key, you're going to lock the bottom. Now that's locked, you'll see this can't be pulled off. As a secondary precaution, you're going to want to attach the pin lock as well. The hole is going to line up with this other hole here, and then you're going to screw it in. All the way. There. Now this is secure. This can't be pulled up. The trailer is locked and secure. The last thing you want to do is make sure it's level. We installed some levels on the outside of our trailer to make it easy so we don't have to keep running back inside. So we're going to lower this down. And what you're looking for is just making sure that bubble is right in the middle. That looks about good right there. The last thing we do to protect our jack and keep the life of it to last longer is protect it from the elements by putting on this cover. Tying it up. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any other questions about the products we use or any other questions you might just have for us about camping in general, feel free to visit us at TinVenture.com or follow us on Instagram at TinVenture. Thank you.